Attention please. The classroom W008 will feature the oral presentations performed by the teaching group 1, 2, 4, and 8. Please be seated. The first presentation will begin in 2 minutes. Group number 2, please get ready. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the midterm project presentation of the 12th graduation exhibition held by the Department of Foreign Language Instruction. I'm the moderator and my name is Mita. Here is the order of the presentations. The first group will be Teaching Group 2 and followed by Teaching Group 1, then Teaching Group 4. The last group will be Teaching Group 8. Each group will have 13 minutes to present your project and 2 minutes for Q&A. Also, the bell will ring at 13 minutes, which means you need to stop presenting the project and proceed to answer the questions. The blue time reminder will be shown to you at 11 minutes of your presentation. It means there are only 2 minutes left. The yellow time reminder will be shown to you at 12 minutes of your presentation. It means there are only 1 minute left. When you hear the ring, you need to stop presenting your project and proceed immediately to the Q&A section for around 2 minutes. When you hear the second ring, you need to stop answering the question. Now, please welcome group number 2.
Good morning, we are group 2. These are our group members: Emma, Elaine, Julie, Candy, Joyce, Patty, Hanson, Kara, John, Prika, Sophia, and I'm Ashley. This is our contents. Introduction parts. We came up with this project by our own learning experiences of being junior high school students and our observations through training and teaching, such as cram schools and camps. In our learning experiences, we study in school up to 10 hours with rote learning and forced to memorize vocabulary and grammar by rote learning without rhyme or imagination. And in our observation, we found out that students are often confused by tense and so on. For example, students do not know when or how to use. Therefore, we create formulas of English, which includes 4 skills, grammar, and vocabulary. Besides, students can learn tense by PC formula and simultaneous equation to help them have better learning strategies as well.
This part is survey and investigation. We give our questionnaire to many English teachers through hard copy and soft copy on the internet. We collect 55 questionnaires back. According to the result, in grammar part, tense and relative pronouns are 2 big problems that students have. In vocabulary part, students prefer to learn new words by examples and sentences. This is bar graph. Tense, relative pronouns, and verb are 3 top problems that students have. We focus on English teacher and junior high school students. In order to make the class more effective, teachers can use it as a reference book and combine their teaching experience so that students can make a great progress. On the other hand, students can make good use of the guidebook to help their learning.
This guidebook is mainly for English teachers. It is suitable for teachers who are lack of teaching experience and do not know where to start the teaching. Besides, for those who have many teaching experience and would like to be innovative through various approaches. And additionally, not only for junior high school students, but for students who in different levels and would like to learn and seek another efficient learning ways. And in this part, according to our questionnaire, we find out that in grammar part, teachers prefer to help students cultivate the habit of thinking in English when they have difficulties in expressing from Mandarin to English. And for instance, teachers can decorate the classroom with everything in English. Additionally, teachers can label the English name of each item in the classroom.
Through these questionnaires, we have found out that in vocabulary part, teachers prefer to use examples to help students to be more familiar with the new words. Besides, teachers are used to teach students syllables to let them memorize the word easily, especially underline each syllables in different colors. Therefore, students will know how to focus on the vocabulary accuracy. In our expectations, we will establish a website and upload some efficient way that provided from our guidebook. They can contact us if they are interested in it. Moreover, we will design a board game as well so that students can learn English with fun.
Then we will design our teaching material in different ways according to 6 areas. First, in order to improve students' listening skill, we will teach students to focus on the keywords such as distinguish, verbs, nouns, adjectives, some other vocabulary, and so on. Second, for the speaking skill, we will teach students accuracy is more important than fluency. Third, for the reading part, we will teach students to make good use of our reading strategies so that students can improve their reading speed. Fourth, in the writing part, we will teach students to think in America and remind them the first and last sentences are important in the article so that students can focus on these 2 parts in their writing.
For vocabulary part, we teach our students how to use our strategies to deal with their vocabulary questions in tests, such as encoding and decoding. And for grammar part, we tell our students that grammar is imagination, and we also tell them a story to let them remember grammar. And considering to our students' level is in junior high school, so we choose the materials that are related to what they have learned or used in junior high school. And the parts which related to our teaching materials are listening, speaking, reading, writing, and also include grammar and vocabulary. And these are our resources and textbooks that we use in our teaching materials. Please take a look.
Next, for the rationale part. Nowadays, parents tend to send their children to cram school. But if students need to learn English at school and use cram school's textbook to learn better, why don't we combine them to an efficient learning? We adopt the audiolingual method, the grammar translation method, learning strategy training, and multiple intelligence as our teaching strategies. In our guidebook, we focus on phonics and KK phonetic symbols. And for the audiolingual method, it focuses on listening and speaking skills. Encoding is that after students learn both of phonics and KK, teacher will pronounce the vocabulary, and students need to spell the word according to the sound they hear. On the other hand, decoding is that students need to pronounce the vocabulary when they see it. If they encounter the difficulties of pronouncing a word, we will separate it into syllables and provide them KK as well. By doing so, they can practice and also improve their pronunciation.
For the grammar translation method, it emphasizes on vocabulary and grammar. Teacher will use students' native language to teach the target language in class. In our course, we use Chinese to teach English, especially grammar, because students have difficulties to understand grammar in whole English classes. Through our teaching, grammar is not abstract anymore. It becomes a real illustration in minds. Besides, we focus on accuracy more than fluency. For multiple intelligence, we focus on audio, interpersonal, linguistic, kinesthetic, and visual. For audio learners, we will play audio clips and do detections. For interpersonal learners, we will put students into groups in some activities, such as sending emails, recording tapes, and playing board games. For linguistic learners, we will ask students to take notes and have storytelling. For kinesthetic learners, we will ask students to do role plays and have board games too. For visual learners, we will play videos and provide students charts, forms, and pictures.
For learning strategies, we divide it into 5 parts. First, vocabulary part. We will teach students encoding and decoding strategies. Second, when they are preparing vocabulary tests, we will teach them to find the keywords rather than reading the whole sentences. Third, listening part. We will ask our students to listen to the keywords and take notes. Fourth, reading part. We will teach them skimming, scanning, and predicting for the main ideas, so that they can read more quickly. Finally, writing part. We will gain their sense of discourse level, so as to write an organized composition. We use this textbook because it begins with teaching experiences and makes you read as a novel. With the teaching techniques and videos, you could know how to teach practically. Also, to keep abreast with the times, we design board games for both teachers and students to learn better and have fun.
For progress, our current stages is design the materials. According to our need analysis questionnaire, we design our materials based on 6 areas of languages. And I'll reflect on the progress. First, make the questionnaire. We made some difficulties when we designed the questionnaire. We're not sure whether the questionnaire was clear enough for teacher to understand and match our aims to ask the questions. So we asked our instructor's opinion and gave a suggestion to revise the questionnaire. Second is searching for the teaching object. The first school we reject our request, so we decided to do the teaching in a cram school. Then is collect out the questionnaire and design the materials. And we have done for our project is we finished making the questionnaire to collect the information. Then is some of our materials. In our materials, we share our learning experience for teacher and students to realize their problem and instantly learning English, so that they can focus on their weakness and improve their problems by learning our tips and materials.
Next, let's look at what we're going to do for our project in the following months. First, we will keep revising and discussing for our teacher materials design. Then, we will design the teacher materials according to this information we had about our students. After we finish designing the teacher materials, we will use them to teach in our cram school during the summer vacation. Furthermore, we will give students both pre-test and post-test to see whether they have improved and what to enhance on in the future. We will also record our teaching demonstrations video. Therefore, we can modify our teaching materials based on the teaching outcome and students' level. Besides, we will brainstorm the tips and easy memorize stories to reduce students' difficulties. After that, each group had to present their teaching on the stage, so that the other group members could give comments to improve the teaching materials. Moreover, when we did the teaching, we will videotape them to be a record, just like the picture above.
According to the information in our survey, we designed suitable material that focusing on teacher and students' needs analysis. Through teaching students learning skill, we help students to Through teaching students learning skill, we help students to learn effectively by making use of our materials. Meanwhile, when we are teaching, we create a low-effective filter to let students to pay attention in the class. For our reflection, we learn how to cooperate and negotiate with each other, and also learn how to apply the knowledge we have learned in these 3 years. Hope our English teaching manual can be used by teachers and students in the future. These are our references. Please take a look. Now is for Q&A. Any suggestions and comments are welcome.
I thought I was the only teacher here. Okay, it's good. Well, I have some questions, although I asked you several questions already in the past. Well, anyway, there's something puzzled me a lot. Is you on one of your PPT you talk about the age, and I always puzzle age. I've never seen anything related to age. So that's one thing you can keep in mind. That's my suggestion. And then, when you mention something about your teaching materials, and it seems that eventually you're going to produce something wonderful, can solve all the teaching problems for the junior high school teachers and the students. So how are you going to convince your students or the teachers to use your materials? Okay.
Thank you for your question. Just let me show you how's the difference between junior high schools and our teaching demo. Is that okay? Okay, fine. Please move the screen up, okay? Please help me move the screen up. Because our grammar teaching is whole Chinese, so I have to present in Chinese this way. For first, I have to do the traditional one in junior high school. I 我问一下，什么是连缀动词？ Okay. "好，这边是连缀动词，后面是不是加形容词？好，来，这是不是你们传统学的？
Thank you, Group 2. Time's up. Thank you. Group number 1, please get ready. Now, please welcome group number 1.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 1. Our topic is English Zodiac Stories. I'm Crystal. These are my group members: Chloe, Vanessa, Jackie, Janet, Eunice, Ryan, Jerry, Janice, Gina, and Coco. And our instructor is Lillian Zhang. This is our agenda. Please take a look. We designed a set of 4 picture books, combine 12 horoscope signs to teach a group of adjectives, and to build out a positive personality. We divided the horoscope into 4 elements: water, earth, wind, and fire. We choose optimistic, warm-hearted, thrifty is a virtue, and cautious to represent their characteristics based on the personality of the horoscope. For teaching materials, in these 4 books, we use picture books and exercise to build up a positive personality and to help the learners know more about zodiac.
And we set our students as 10 to 12 years old, and their language level is high beginner level. And we have searched some textbooks on the market that related to our topic. Take a book as an example, is Content Area of Reading Zodiac. Those books on the market that main focus on each zodiac characteristic, but our books are focused on helping students to build their positive personality. And we have also searched some resources as our reference. Those books include some implications, for example, like warm-hearted and optimistic, and we will look at those books and learn from it.
And now I will introduce our investigation part. First, this is our questionnaire. And as you can see, we have 9 questions in our questionnaire. And our recipients are 50 students around 10 years old, and we conducted our questionnaire in March, and our purpose is better to understand the market demand. And first, Our question is, do you care about zodiac? And most of 90% students do care about horoscope. So we think our project is feasible. And our second question is, do you interested in zodiac? And 70% students interested in zodiac because zodiac is relative to their life. So we think students interested in zodiac can help us have more motivation to decide our project.
And next, and the students, they are interested in which zodiac they are, and most of the students have their understanding of the horoscopes, but not very in-depth. So in our picture booth, students can learn some stories about the zodiac and also some positive attitudes from each character. And they might also know it's very common in our daily life, like on the birthday, and which zodiacs they are, about the personality and the character. So they might read the stories and understand some attitude and good personality from the zodiac.
Here are two factors guiding the project. The first one is the theme is attractive and motivating. And the second is students build up positive characters from the storybook. We found that about knowing the student's own personality and characteristics, the most popular is zodiac. So we chose this topic so that our learner can clearly understand their own personality and characteristics, and also they can learn some good performance from other zodiac. And one of our motivation that we choose this topic is that zodiac is close to our daily life. Not only the students are interested in knowing more about the zodiac, but also we can help them build up positive characteristics from this topic. And this phrase supports our motivation of using this phrase of using picture books. And our learner can learn effectively.
Now I'm going to talk about the character built up through storybooks. And as we all know, character build-up is a lifelong story. And you might think, why is always storybooks for young learners? And well, I will go further to say that, hold on for that thought for a sec. And yes, we didn't find anything that is more efficient than storybooks. And it doesn't like novels, fictions, and textbooks that contains tons and tons of written context that block them from understanding. And they have to digest the information for a long period of time. And it doesn't like movies or movie clips either. They can explore and imagine the world on their own systematically. Storybooks are more attractive to young learners because they have produce the chances for them to read something on their own. Character building on this part is that storybooks can somehow push the learners to read something on their own, so they can also develop their literal and utterance capacities to express themselves. And also, they can be enlightened by the storybooks to have aesthetic feelings, which is to say, to spark their sensibilities. And best of all, storybooks, the story may not be true, though. They tend to view the adversity in the story, or the adversity they might encounter in their future, in a rather humorous and positive way of sure. And that is likewise the utmost achievement for our material development in this project. And the next is progress report.
Now it is progress reports. First, we use the brainstorming to think our topic. Second, in order to understand what students want to need, we design a questionnaire to ask the question. Next, we organize, analyze, and interpret them to the information. And after that, we start to think about our basic part of our story, and then try to modify that.
Then is our future plan. There are totally 4 books to be our main teaching materials, and we are already designing our first story content of our first book, and then we will keep going to design other 3 story books, and we are going to create our ebooks, and we are using the online professional ebook designer to create our own ebooks, and we will record the CDs for our each storybooks, and we will create the activities. The activities we will put them in our teaching course, and we will do our teaching demo in summer vacation, and we will finish our education project.
Conclusion. For this project, we have designed the title of our project, English Zodiac Stories, 外星会议文缺一不可. Next, we have conducted and analyzed a survey and collect information from the internet and books for the project. Then we will design 4 picture books to teach a group of adjectives and lead our learners to build up a positive personality.
These are the key points of our reflection. We have built up cooperation and creativity by doing this project. Also, we review what we have learned by applying them into our project. However, it is our first time to do a project with a group of people and to make a project unique. It is challenging for us to work with a group of people effectively in a short time. At the beginning, we faced some difficulties when we were discussing the content and the working process of our project. Also, it is challenging for us to make our project unique, attractive, and knowledgeable. These are the references we use for our project. Please take a look. This is our presentation. If you have any questions, you are welcome.
Now is the Q&A time.
I have a question. What are you going to put your for books? For example, 1 book for 1 story, or 1 book for 4 characters, something like that. Do you know what I mean?
We decide each book with 1 story, and in the story we will use the different zodiac character to talk about the daily life story, and students can learn from the character of the zodiac, and they also can learn the positive attitude in the life, especially for the kids.
So you mean the 4 zodiac characters will combine together as a whole story, like that?
Yes.
It's good for you.
And this is our presentation. Thank you.
那个同学，我们在使用麦克风的时候，不要两只同时开启，因为那个声音会被干扰，会被抵消掉。所以在报告的时候，就是开启一只麦克风就好了。Group number 4, please get ready. Now, let's welcome group number 4.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 4. Today we are going to do the graduation project midterm report. Our topic is See You Again. And our instructor is Teacher Zishan Zhang and Mia, and these are our group members: Amy, Celine, Elaine, Janice, Sherry, Jamie, J.E., Selena, and Penny. This is our agenda. Please take a look. First, I'm going to introduce our project. Our topic is See You Again, and there are 2 goals in our project. First is to help students learn the basic vocabulary and phrases about marine in English. And it's based on MOE study. Also, we have looked the textbook are used in elementary school. We found that the textbook is short of materials regarding oceans. Also, we have done a questionnaire of market research. From the result, we found that students have not enough basic marine knowledge. For the second goal, to enhance students' motivation in learning English, it's based on Yang and Lin and Chen's studies. And from our questionnaire result, we found that students' motivation of learning English is low. So we are going to hold a camp for the student whose age is elementary school 3rd grade to 6th grade student. And we will use these 5 teaching approach in our camp. Next, Amy will talk about the investigation.
I'm Amy. Now I'm going to introduce the investigation. First, the researcher Chen, he mentioned that the material used in marine education is insufficient. And second, the textbook of science and technology for the 3rd to 6th grade in elementary school. These are the textbooks in elementary school. As you can see, the textbooks are including the mountain and other places of creatures and plants. It didn't focus on the ocean and only mention a little bit about it. And next, Celine will continue the investigation.
I'm Celine, and we also use Ministry of Education's important issue of Grade 1 to 9 curriculum guidelines and Marine Education Policy White Paper as our resource. And in Marine Education Policy White Paper, it mentioned that Taiwanese literacy of marine education is low, and they lack awareness of protecting marine. And the resource regarded as English motivation. Yang and Lin mentioned that a lot of students in elementary school in Taiwan are sluggish when they learn English because they lack learning attitude and learning motivation. And Chen mentioned that up to 23.6% of students think about giving up in learning English. Next, Elaine will talk about rationale.
I'm Elaine. Now I'm going to talk about the rationale why we choose marine education to be our topic. And there are 2 main reasons. Based on the studies, the Ministry of Education has promoted that citizens need to have the cross outline of the elementary school, which indicates that citizens need to have basic knowledge of marine. Also, the Kaohsiung City government has promoted the marine education and also held a plan for teachers in order to let teachers to have better knowledge of marine. As we can see that marine education is a trend, so we decided to use marine education to be our topic and to let our students to have basic knowledge of marine is the first reason. And second, based on Han Wang's research, in the view of simpleton of low motivation exists from elementary school. Therefore, we not only want to enhance students' motivation, but also want to improve students' English ability. According to the research and studies set, we can find that marine education is very important for our citizens. So we combine marine education into English in order to reach our goals. That's why we choose marine education to be our topic. And next, Janice will talk about survey.
I'm Janice. Now I want to talk about our survey. We conducted this survey to verify our assumption, and there are 130 students respond to our survey. Question number 1 to question number 4 are about the marine education. As we can see in question number 1 and 2, 96% and 84% of students, they think that the marine knowledge is very important and they want to learn more about it. However, in question number 3 and 4, 13% and 49% of students, they don't have enough marine knowledge because they answer incorrectly. And for question number 5 to question number 8, they are about our English learning motivation. In question number 5 and 6, 49 and 38% of students, they learn English passively and unhappily. In question number 7, students love English. There have 66% of students love English. And however, in question number 8, the students who learn English, who love English, decreasing from 66% to 46%, and because This shows about that because when they need to learn English, their affection is decreasing, and we want to improve their motivation. So we hold a summer camp and to also to gain their marine knowledge. And next, in our survey, we found that students are lack of their marine education and have low motivation in learning English. So we set up goal 1 to improve their marine knowledge, and goal 2 to improve their learning motivation. Next, Sherry will talk about the camp.
And I'm Sherry. And according to our questionnaire results, we found that most of the students are eager to learn more about marine knowledge and how to protect marine. Therefore, we plan to hold a 3-day camp. We incorporate marine knowledge into English class and list our students' background. Our students are 3rd to 6th grade students in elementary school, and the Ministry of Education indicates that 3rd to 6th grade students can understand 26 alphabets and tell a simple words and sentence. And in our camp, we provide students an English environment to learn. So we design the lessons in 5 teaching approach. And there are PPP teaching approach, text-based language teaching, the direct method, communicative language teaching, and the audiolingual method. By doing activities, students can train their ability to respond quickly and accurately in communications, and the knowledge of sufficient vocabulary to use. And in our camp, we are going to design 5 teaching materials: textbook, audios, flashcard, word card, and PPT. For the textbook, it includes grammar, dialogue, and vocabulary. Students can preview and review before and after the class. And as for the others, students will have activities to do. By doing activities, they can train their ability and improve their motivations. Next, Jamie will talk about the progress report.
I am Jamie. I'm going to introduce progress report. I will talk about what we have done for our project and the current status of our project. In February, we decided our topic and found the literature to support our topic. In March, we designed the questionnaire and distributed it. After that, we analyzed the results of questionnaires. In April, we created a preliminary budget table to estimate how much money we will spend on our camp and decide the lessons of our camp. In May, we write the lesson plans and make the teaching materials such as textbook and flashcards. Next, Jenny will continue progress report.
I'm Jay. Now I'm going to talk about what will we do in the following month. In June, we will know how many students will join our English camp and find a sponsor and also find a research method. In July, we will hold our English camp. After the camp, we will evaluate our camp. In September, we will design our product. In October, we will modify our product. In December, we will attend graduation exhibition. Next, Selena will tell you the conclusion.
I'm Selena. For the conclusion, we use this topic is because people in Taiwan are lacking knowledge of marine, and the Ministry of Education doesn't have appropriate course design. Our goals are to learn the basic English vocabulary and phrases of marine issues and enhance students' motivation in learning English. And we will use 5 teaching methods in our camp. And next, Penny will continue the conclusion and reflection.
I'm Penny. As for the teaching materials, we will have textbook, PowerPoint, audio, flashcard, and word card. And we will hold a 3-day camp in the elementary school in July.
Also, we will design a variety of activities to integrate marine issues into our camp. Then, we will produce teacher's manual and CD after our camp. And this is our camp schedule. The reflection. In the beginning, we have difficulties reach the consensus, but after we communicate, we gradually have the same goal. Therefore, projection exhibition not only give us the chance to perform our profit, but also learn to cooperate with each other well. These are our references. Please take a look. This is our presentation. Any questions and comments are welcome.
Now is the QA time.
Wonderful presentation. Can you go back to your slide number 17? Yeah, in your progress reports in April, you mentioned that you have designed the lessons of your camps. I was wondering, can you talk about what each lesson look like?
Thanks for your question. And we had four lessons, and such as shallow sea creatures, deep sea creatures, and recycle and protect the sea creatures.
Okay, for each lesson, what it look like? What kind of content do you have in each lesson?
We have last 4 stories in our lessons.
And according to our story, there are the sea creatures and the energies that we are going to talk in in marine, and that will teach the vocabulary and grammar in our dialogue.
Okay, that's the keyword, grammar. Because your target learners are 3rd graders to 6th graders, and you want to teach them grammar. You may want to reconsider that. I'm not sure if that really works for very young learners. And your next slide, slide 18, you said like you will find the research method in June is gonna be next month. What do you mean by research method? Or do you mean teacher method? I thought you have plenty of different teaching approaches, but you will find a research method. What do you mean by that?
Thanks for your question, and we will answer after the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Group number 8, please get ready. Now, let's welcome group number 8.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 8. Our topic is Fun with Phonemes. Today, we are going to present you our graduation project midterm presentation. Our group members are Julia, Phyllis, Chelsea, Linda, Charlotte, Abby, Zayn, Joanne, Anne, Wendy, and Antina. Our instructor is Miss May. Now, please take a look at our agenda. First, we are going to start with introduction, and then survey investigation, rationale, progress report, reflection, conclusion, references, and last is Q&A. Now, Zayn will introduce you the introduction part.
Now I'm going to present you the introduction part. Pronunciation is a basic but crucial part for most of the learners when they start to learn English. And due to the importance of the sound, our group will focus on this section to help students step into the English learning. And therefore, we have decided to teach phonics, and our main belief is to develop their English learning through cultivating phonemic awareness of the learners so that they can distinguish the sounds. These are the strategies we are going to use in our classroom teaching. First, vivid memory skills like body language in TBR. Second, purpose direction drills. Third, interesting activities which can enhance students' development of phonemic awareness. Next, Abby will present the survey investigation part.
I'm going to introduce students' background. Our project is for 7-year-old students in Xinshang Elementary School, and most of students are in middle-class family. Our students' level is beginners. We will have questionnaire for them in first teaching to know their learning background and ability. The language need is to build out the foundation of learning English. We assume that they may just learn English. Pronunciation is one of the most crucial parts of learning language. We believe that learning phonemes will help learners pronounce the word and distinguish phonemes. Next, teaching arrangements. There are 28 students in class, and we have 8 classes on Tuesday and Thursday of May and June. The length of the lesson is 30 minutes, and our expected benefit is to help students identify the word with phonemes and pronounce and change the sound into graphic survival skills. Next, Joanne will present next part.
Next, I will present a textbook related to our teaching. We found 2 books related to our topic in the market. First, in the 英语读音与拼写, the author thinks that the pronunciation is the main point in learning English. We found that the author focused on the international finality alphabet, and the author also focused on changing the hearing sound into a spelling word that is encoded. Second, the Road to the Code, a phonological awareness program for young children, Spiral. The author designed 3 activities by 44 phonics. This book is a good reference for us in our activity design part. Next, I will present our reference.
I'm designing our textbook. We use tips for teaching vowel sounds and teaching and learning the phonemic codes as our references. For the comparison between phonics and phonemes, we use 国小学童英语自然发音法在英语科补救教学之研究 and 浅谈字母拼读教学 as our references. Since our project mainly focuses on phonemes, it is important to distinguish between phonics and phonemes. The last part is the order of 44 phonemes. We arrange 44 phonemes based on the place of articulation that's mentioned in the book. An introduction to language. Next, Wendy will present our rationale.
Nowadays, learners are taught with phonics, which gives them the concept of one letter goes with one sound, and makes them remember the relationship between the letters and the sounds through written language. However, we found that if learners are under the thinking patterns of phonics, they may not be able to make correct pronunciations on words that do not follow the phonics rules. We also found that the published materials nowadays only emphasize on the most used sound of an alphabet. Therefore, we aim to develop phoneme materials which emphasize that one sound has different graphics and help learners acquire phonemic awareness. For our teaching approaches, we would like to combine whole language teaching approach, auditory training, and phonemes. For whole language teaching approach, we combine it with the advantages of phonics-based methods to build learners' phonemic awareness and to help them to apply the phonemes into training activities such as chants, stories, and so on. For auditory training, we provide phonemic inputs for learners to train their brains for phonemes. And for phonemes, they come with the knowledge of the sounds that learners require through the training activities. Next, Chelsea will introduce the progress report.
Now I will present what we have done before. I will divide it in 4 parts. The first part is choosing our topic. In December, we struggled our topic between writing, phonemes, and phoning. After searching the information about these 3 topics, we voted for topic of phonemes. The second part is searching for detailed information. In winter vacation, each group member had to find out at least 2 books are related to phonemes and analyze the advantages and disadvantages. In March, we discussed our analysis to know more information about our topics. The third part is deciding the content. We had decided the content of Book 1, which involves 32 phonemes, and everyone has started to conduct the making of our materials. The final part is starting our project. We have sequences 32 phonemes based on articulatory phonetics. In addition, we had made an agreement with a teacher in Xingshan Elementary School to apply our materials and ideas in teaching. Next, Charlotte will present current stage of progress.
For our current work, we are now designing 2 textbooks for students who have never learned phonics before. In order to examine how phonemic awareness will affect learners' language learning, we also classify the students into 2 groups. One of them is the students who do not have basic phonics concept, and another group does. We plan to keep doing Book 1 during the first pilot teaching. Therefore, we have already finished the contents we should put in and designed the layout of Book 1. In addition, we have started to arrange the layout of Book 1 and draw appropriate illustration by ourselves to demonstrate each vocabulary clearly. Also, we are now designing lesson plans for our first pilot teaching. Next, here's our current stage schedule. As you can see that all of us are on the right track. Next, Linda will present future stage.
Now I'm going to talk about what we are going to do for our graduation projects in the near future. First is designing our questionnaire in May. The content of it is mainly about students' reflection and what they have learned. Secondly, we will make our Book 2 from May to August. The content of it is about schwa sound, diphthongs, and the review of Book 1 and the retroflex. And next are our lesson plans. We will make our lesson plans in May and in August. The one in May will include testing students' recognition of ABC, teaching 6 sounds from Book 1, and last, interviewing students' feedbacks. Next are our pilot teachings from May to June and from September to October. The last is revising our materials from June to August. We will revise our materials based on students' reflection and the issues we find in our pilot teachings. Next, Phyllis will present the reflection.
Next, I'm going to talk about the reflection in our group. I separated it into 4 parts. The first one is the interrelationship in our groups. In our group members, most of us have the good feeling when we cooperate with each other. The communication and the discussion are all based on a respectful attitude. And the second one is about the content of the material design. When we're designing the textbook, the common question we have is about the differences between phonemes and phonics. Some group members devoted to finding resources. Although it is the tough process, we still conquer it. And the third one is the individual work we conduct. In our group, everyone can choose the part we want. Everyone can have the full use of her talent and the knowledge. And the last one is about our feeling when we do the project. This is the first time we have to deal with the whole things in teaching. So most of us feel stressful and anxious. However, we still overcome our inner fear and do it well cooperatively. Next, Julia will present the conclusion.
I'm going to conclude our project for you. There are 4 courses in our project. The first one is phonemic awareness, which help learners recognize the different sounds. Instead of ask them to remember one letter goes with one sound. And by adapting whole language approach, which is our second course, emphasize that these phonemes should be taught in a meaningful way. We then examine and compare how phonemic awareness will affect learners' learning by separating them into 2 groups, while and after pilot teaching. For the last one, with the support of the assistant material, for example, textbook, CD audio, and board game, which aims to help learners to learn efficiently and even self-practice. In a nutshell, with the help of our instructor and the references, we are now developing to help learners to build up phonemic awareness and to be able to recognize the different sounds. We are now stepping into the right track step by step. And these are our references.
Now it's our Q&A section. Any questions and suggestions are appreciated.
I was really curious, why do you come up with this? Phonics is really difficult, something. Based on my understanding, phonics, phonemic awareness is very difficult to measure. Okay, of course you're gonna do pilot study, and I believe you will be designing a series of very wonderful materials for you to use on those first graders. And do you have any ideas that how you're gonna to measure, or are you planning to measure their improvements, or you just ask for their comments on what they have got from your lessons? You know, because you say that those kids, they never learn any phonetic, they don't have any phonemic background, right? That's what I heard in your presentation. But after your teaching, are you expecting any improvements? And if yes, how are you going to measure that? Or, yeah.
Thank you for your question. In our pilot teaching, at the end of the course, that is the 8th lesson. And in this class, we are going to design a questionnaire for students to assess if they understand and improve during our teaching.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
So I'm a little bit confused about the goal that you would like to achieve from your project. I mean, what exactly you want your student to learn from your teaching?
Thank you for your question. We will answer your question after the presentation. Thank you.
This is the end of today's presentation. Thanks for your attention and participation. 我们现在会发各组的签退单，请各组收齐观摩新的单以及签对单，请组长来前面向总召汇报人数。大家请同学尽快到系办前面，准备拍照。
Good morning everyone, we are group 4. Today we are going to do the graduation project midterm report. Our topic is see you again and our instructor is teacher Shan Zhang and Mia, and these are our group members: Amy, Celine, Elaine, Janice, Sherry, Jamie, J.E., Selena, and Penny. This is our agenda, please take a look. First, I'm going to introduce our project. Our topic is see you again, and there are 2 goals in our project. First is to help students learn the basic vocabulary and phrases about marine in English. And it's based on MOE study. Also, we have looked the textbook are used in elementary school. We found that the textbook is short of materials regarding oceans.
Also, we have done a questionnaire of market research. From the result, we found that students have not enough basic marine knowledge. For the second goal, to enhance students' motivation in learning English, it's based on Young and Lin and Chen's studies. And from our questionnaire result, we found that students' motivation of learning English is low. So we are going to hold a camp for the student whose age is elementary school 3rd grade to 6th grade students. And we will use these 5 teaching approach in our camp. Next, Amy will talk about the investigation.
I'm Amy. Now I'm going to introduce the investigation. First, the researcher Chen, he mentioned that the material used in marine education is insufficient. And second, the textbook of science and technology for the 3rd to 6th grade in elementary school. These are the textbooks in elementary school. As you can see, the textbooks are including the mountain and other places of creatures and plants. It didn't focus on the ocean and only mention a little bit about it. And next, Celine will continue the investigation.
I'm Celine, and we also use Ministry of Education's important issue of Grade 1 to 9 curriculum guidelines and Marine Education Policy White Paper as our resource. And in Marine Education Policy White Paper, it mentioned that Taiwanese literacy of marine education is low, and they lack awareness of protecting marine. And the resource regarded as English motivation. Yang and Lin mentioned that lots of students in elementary school in Taiwan are sluggish when they learn English because they lack learning attitude and learning motivation. And Chen mentioned that up to 23.6% of students think about giving up in learning English. Next, Elaine will talk about rationale.
I'm Elaine. Now I'm going to talk about the rationale why we choose marine education to be our topic. And there are 2 main reasons. Based on the studies, the Ministry of Education has promoted that citizens need to have the cross outline of the elementary school, which indicate that citizens need to have basic knowledge of marine. Also, the Kaohsiung City government has promoted the marine education and also held a plan for teachers in order to let teachers to have better knowledge of marine. As we can see that marine education is a trend, so we decided to use marine education to be our topic and to let our students to have basic knowledge of marine is the first reason. And second, based on Han Wang's research, in the view of simpleton of low motivation exists from elementary school. Therefore, we not only want to enhance students' motivation, but also want to improve students' English ability. According to the research and studies set, we can find that marine education is very important for our citizens. So we combine marine education into English in order to reach our goals. That's why we choose marine education to be our topic. And next, Janice will talk about survey.
I'm Janice. Now I want to talk about our survey. We conducted this survey to verify our assumption, and there are 130 students' response to our survey. Question number 1 to question number 4 are about the marine education. As we can see in question number 1 and 2, 96% and 84% of students, they think that the marine knowledge is very important and they want to learn more about it. However, in question number 3 and 4, 13% and 49% of students, they don't have enough marine knowledge because they answer incorrectly. And for question number 5 to question number 8, they are about our English learning motivation. In question number 5 and 6, 49 and 38% of students, they learn English passively and unhappily. In question number 7, students love English. There have 66% of students love English. And however, in question number 8, the students who learn English, who love English decreasing from 66% to 46%. And because this is shows about that because when they need to learn English, their affection is decreasing, and we want to improve their motivation. So we hold a summer camp and to also to gain their marine knowledge. And next, in our survey, we found that students are lack of their marine education and have low motivation in learning English. So we set up goal 1 to improve their marine knowledge, and goal 2 to improve their learning motivation. Next, Sherry will talk about the camp.
And I'm Sherry. And according to our questionnaire results, we found that most of the students are eager to learn more about marine knowledge and how to protect marine. Therefore, we plan to hold a 3-day camp. We incorporate marine knowledge into English class and list our students' background. Our students are 3rd to 6th grade students in elementary school, and the Ministry of Education indicates that 3rd to 6th grade students can understand 26 alphabets and tell a simple words and sentence. And in our camp, we provide students an English environment to learn. So we design the lessons in 5 teaching approach. And they are PPP teaching approach, text-based language teaching, the direct method, communicative language teaching, and the audiolingual method. By doing activities, students can train their ability to respond quickly and accurately in communications, and the knowledge of sufficient vocabulary to use. And in our camp, we are going to design 5 teaching materials: textbook, audios, flashcard, word card, and PPT. For the textbook, it includes grammar, dialogue, and vocabulary. Students can preview and review before and after the class. And as for the others, students will have activities to do. By doing activities, they can train their ability and improve their motivations. Next, Jamie will talk about the progress report.
I am Jamie. I'm going to introduce progress report. I will talk about what we have done for our project and the current status of our project. In February, we decided our topic and found the literature to support our topic. In March, we designed the questionnaires and distributed it. After that, we analyzed the result of questionnaires. In April, we created a preliminary budget table to estimate how much money we will spend on our camp and decide the lessons of our camp. In May, we write the lesson plans and make the teaching materials such as textbook and flashcards. Next, Jay will continue progress report.
I'm Jay. Now I'm going to talk about what will we do in the following month. In June, we will know how many students will join our English camp and find a sponsor and also find a research method. In July, we will hold our English camp. After the camp, we will evaluate our camp. In September, we will design our product. In October, we will modify our product. In December, we will attend graduation exhibition. Next, Selena will tell you the conclusion.
I'm Selena. For the conclusion, we use this topic is because people in Taiwan are lacking knowledge of marine, and the Ministry of Education doesn't have appropriate course design.
Our goals are to learn the basic English vocabulary and phrases of marine issues and enhance students' motivation in learning English. And we will use 5 teaching methods in our camp. And next, Penny will continue the conclusion and reflection.
I'm Penny. As for the teaching materials, we will have textbook, PowerPoint, audio, flashcard, and work card. And we will hold a 3-day camp in the elementary school in July. Also, we will design a variety of activities to integrate marine issue into our camp. Then, we will produce teacher's manual and CD after our camp. And this is our camp schedule. The reflection. In the beginning, we have difficulties reach the consensus, but after we communicate, we gradually have the same goal. Therefore, graduation exhibition not only give us the chance to perform our profit, but also learn to cooperate with each other well. These are our references. Please take a look. This is our presentation. Any questions and comments are welcome.
Now is the QA time.
Wonderful presentation. Can you go back to your slide number 17? Yeah, in your progress reports in April, you mentioned that you have designed the lessons of your camps. I was wondering, can you talk about what each lesson look like?
Thanks for your question. And we had four lessons, and such as shallow sea creatures, deep sea creatures, and recycle and protect the sea creatures.
Okay, for each lesson, what it look like? What kind of content do you have in each lesson?
We have last 4 stories in our lessons.
And according to our story, there are the sea creatures and the energies that we are going to talk in in marine, and that will teach the vocabulary and grammar in our dialogue.
Okay, that's the keyword, grammar. Because your target learners are 3rd graders to 6th graders, and you want to teach them grammar. You may want to reconsider that. I'm not sure if that really works for very young learners. And your next slide, slide 18, you said you will find the research method in June is gonna be next month. What do you mean by research method? Or do you mean teacher method? I thought you have plenty of different teaching approaches, but you'll find a research method. What do you mean by that?
Thanks for your question, and we will answer after the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 4.
Group number 8, please get ready. Now, let's welcome group number 8.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 8. Our topic is Fun with Phonemes. Today, we are going to present you our graduation project midterm presentation. Our group members are Julia, Phyllis, Chelsea, Linda, Charlotte, Abby, Zayn, Joanne, Anne, Wendy, and Antina. Our instructor is Miss May. Now, please take a look at our agenda. First, we are going to start with introduction, and then survey investigation, rationale, progress report, reflection, conclusion, references, and last is Q&A. Now, Zayn will introduce you the introduction part.
Now I'm going to present you the introduction part. Pronunciation is a basic but crucial part for most of the learners when they start to learn English. And due to the importance of the sounds, our group will focus on this section to help students step into the English learning. And therefore, we have decided to teach phonics, and our main belief is to develop their English learning through cultivating phonemic awareness of the learners so that they can distinguish the sounds. These are the strategies we are going to use in our classroom teaching. First, vivid memory skills like body language in TPR. Second, purpose direction drills. Third, interesting activities which can enhance students' development of phonemic awareness. Next, Abby will present the survey investigation part.
I'm going to introduce students' background. Our project is for 7-year-old students in Xinshan Elementary School, and most of students are in middle-class family. Our students' level is beginners. We will have questionnaire for them in first teaching to know their learning background and ability. The language need is to build out the foundation of learning English. We assume that they may just learn English. Pronunciation is one of the most crucial parts of learning language. We believe that learning phonemes will help learners pronounce the word and distinguish phonemes. Next, teaching arrangements. There are 28 students in class, and we have 8 classes on Tuesday and Thursday of May and June. The length of the lesson is 30 minutes, and our expected benefit is to help students identify the word with phonemes and pronounce and change the sound into graphing through 4 skills. Next, Joanne will present next part.
Next, I will present a textbook related to our teaching. We found 2 books related to our topic in the market. First, in the 英语读音与拼写, the author thinks that the pronunciation is the main point in learning English. We found that the author focused on the international finality alphabet, and the author also focused on changing the hearing sound into a spelling word that is encoding. Second, the Road to the Code, a phonological awareness program for young children spiral. The author designed 3 activities by 44 families. This book is a good reference for us in our activity design process. Next, I will present our reference.
I'm designing our textbook. We use tips for teaching vowel sounds and teaching and learning the phonemic codes as our references. For the comparison between phonics and phonemes, we use 国小学童英语自然发音法在英语科补救教学之研究 and 浅谈字母拼读教学 as our references. Since our project mainly focuses on phonemes, it is important to distinguish between phonics and phonemes. The last part is the order of 44 phonemes. We arranged 44 phonemes based on the place of articulation that's mentioned in the book. In Introduction to Language. Next, Wendy will present our rationale.
Nowadays, learners are taught with phonics, which gives them the concept of one letter goes with one sound, and makes them remember the relationship between the letters and the sounds through written language. However, we found that if learners are under the thinking patterns of phonics, they may not be able to make correct pronunciations on words that do not follow the phonics rules. We also found that the published materials nowadays only emphasize on the most used sound of an alphabet. Therefore, we aim to develop phoneme materials which emphasize that one sound has different graphics and help learners acquire phonemic awareness. For our teaching approaches, we would like to combine whole language teaching approach, auditory training, and phonemes. For whole language teaching approach, we combine it with the advantages of phonics-based methods to build learners' phonemic awareness and to help them to apply the phonemes into training activities such as chants, stories, and so on. For auditory training, we provide phonemic inputs for learners to train their brains for phonemes. And for phonemes, they come with the knowledge of the sounds that learners require through the training activities. Next, Chelsea will introduce the progress report.
Now I will present what we have done before. I will divide it in 4 parts. The first part is choosing our topic. In December, we struggled our topic between writing, phonemes, and phoning. After searching the information about these 3 topics, we voted for topic of phonemes. The second part is searching for detailed information. In winter vacation, each group member had to find out at least 2 books are related to phonemes and analyze the advantages and disadvantages. In March, we discussed our analysis to know more information about our topics. The third part is deciding the content. We had decided the content of Book 1, which involves 32 phonemes, and everyone has started to conduct the making of our materials. The final part is starting our project. We have sequences 32 phonemes based on articulatory phonetics. In addition, we had made an agreement with a teacher in Xingshan Elementary School to apply our materials and ideas in teaching. Next, Charlotte will present current stage of progress.
For our current work, we are now designing 2 textbooks for students who have never learned phonics before. In order to examine how phonemic awareness will affect learners' language learning, we also classify the students into 2 groups. One of them is the students who do not have basic phonics concept, and another group does. We plan to keep doing Book 1 during the first pilot teaching. Therefore, we have already finished the contents we should put in and designed the layout of Book 1. In addition, we have started to arrange the layout of Book 1 and draw appropriate illustration by ourselves to demonstrate each vocabulary clearly. Also, we are now designing lesson plans for our first pilot teaching. Next, here's our current stage schedule. As you can see that all of us are on the right track. Next, Linda will present future stage.
Now I'm going to talk about what we are going to do for our graduation projects in the near future. First is designing our questionnaire in May. The content of it is mainly about students' reflection and what they have learned. Secondly, we will make our Book 2 from May to August. The content of it is about schwa sound, diphthongs, and the review of Book 1 and the retroflex. And next, are our lesson plans. We will make our lesson plans in May and in August. The one in May will include testing students' recognition of ABC, teaching 6 sounds from Book 1, and last, interviewing students' feedbacks. Next are our pilot teachings from May to June and from September to October. The last is revising our materials from June to August. We will revise our materials based on students' reflection and the issues we find in our pilot teachings. Next, Phyllis will present the reflection.
Next, I'm going to talk about the reflection in our group. I separated into 4 parts. The first one is the interrelationship in our groups. In our group members, most of us have the good feeling when we cooperate with each other. The communication and the discussion are all based on the respectful attitude. And the second one is about the content of the material design. When we're designing the textbook, the common question we have is about the differences between phonemes and phonics. Some group members devoted to finding resources. Although it is the tough process, we still conquer it. And the third one is the individual work we conduct. In our group, everyone can choose the part we want. Everyone can have the full use of her talent and the knowledge. And the last one is about our feeling when we do the project. This is the first time we have to deal with the whole things in teaching. So most of us feel stressful and anxious. However, we still overcome our inner fear and do it well cooperatively. Next, Julia will present the conclusion.
I'm going to conclude our project for you. There are 4 courses in our project. The first one is phonemic awareness, which help learners recognize the different sounds. Instead of ask them to remember one letter goes with one sound. And by adapting whole language approach, which is our second course, emphasize that these phonemes should be taught in a meaningful way. We then examine and compare how phonemic awareness will affect learners' learning by separating them into 2 groups, while and after pilot teaching. For the last one, with the support of the assistant material, for example, textbook, CD audio, and board game, which aims to help learners to learn efficiently and even self-practice. In a nutshell, with the help of our instructor and the references, we are now developing to help learners to build up phonemic awareness and to be able to recognize the different sounds. We are now stepping into the right track step by step. And these are our references.
Now it's our Q&A section. Any questions and suggestions are appreciated.
I was really curious, why do you come up with this? Phonics is really difficult, something. Based on my understanding, phonics, phonemic awareness is very difficult to measure. Okay, of course you're gonna do pilot study, and I believe you will be designing a series of very wonderful materials for you to use on those first graders. And do you have any ideas that how you're gonna to measure, or are you planning to measure their improvements, or you just ask for their comments on what they have got from your lessons? You know, because you say that those kids, they never learn any phonetic, they don't have any phonemic background, right? That's what I heard in your presentation. But after your teaching, are you expecting any improvements? And if yes, how are you going to measure that? Or, yeah.
Thank you for your question. In our pilot teaching, at the end of the course, that is the 8th lesson. And in this class, we are going to design a questionnaire for students to assess if they understand and improve during our teaching.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So I'm a little bit confused about the goal that you would like to achieve from your project. I mean, what exactly you want your student to learn from your teaching?
Thank you for your question. We will answer your question after the presentation. Thank you.
This is the end of today's presentation. Thanks for your attention and participation. 我们现在会发各组的签退单，请各组收齐观摩新的单以及签退单，请组长来前面向总召汇报人数。大家请同学尽快到系办前面，准备拍照。